Hey everybody, and welcome to Season 5 of Truly Bedrock. Here we are back again for Episode 4, and behind me is kind of what we did in the last episode. We set up a shop. I wanted to provide the server with food, right? It is one of the more critical things to get in early game a good source of food. I know that typically you run around slaying whatever helpless animal may be near, cooking their flesh to enjoy, and that may be the thing that you do. Eventually, you probably end up with like some potato farms or something like that to have a source of food that will last you for a little while. As we learned in the last season, there are certain foods that have good saturation and certain foods that have bad saturation. So it's a give and take with certain farms and all the different things that we are doing to get food. So I set up a steak farm, a cooked beef farm, because this is one of the best foods in the game, easily obtainable and easy to farm. So I want to check out profits. Nothing. Oh, 9 diamonds. Not bad. Not bad at all. We'll take out our overstock here and restock this chest, or this barrel rather. And I think, yes, those are all stacks of 64. Perfect. So we've made some profits. The shop is already profitable. It's looking pretty cool. I'm sitting here eating some steak on the beach, enjoying a drink, enjoying the sun, enjoying the weather. Another thing that I've been meaning to do is to get these two items as placeable items so that we can throw these somewhere. I think that's a good place for our very first pickaxe, and our very first diamond is probably going to look good. Will it go here? No, it won't go there. We have a pot on top of that. Maybe what we will have to do is just place it there. That's perfect. The rest of the diamonds we placed in here, we've got ourselves a decent little stockpile of things here, and now it is time to head over to the island so that we can take a look at all the things that have transpired over there. Obviously, you guys see my levels. We've gotten quite a bit of levels from the AFK fish farm, and also you've seen the books that are in my inventory, so you know that some things have been going on. Quite a bit of fishing has been done, and I managed to get some okay books. They are here, like Power 4, there's some projectile protection, a respiration 2. These are just all kind of backup books. I'm going to definitely go through these, and things like Unbreaking we're definitely going to take out, but some of this stuff I really don't need. That's a decent book. It's got a lot of things on it. Maybe the fire aspect we could take off of that, but there may be a better one for our sword here. Maybe there isn't. No, we're going to throw that in the other box. I've got some sharpness set up right here. This will give me sharpness 4. And then we do have some mending books. Unfortunately, this one has Curse of the Vanishing. I have mending books back at the base, but this chest has a lot of good books in them. Like this has Aqua Affinity and Breaking. That's definitely going on a helmet. This has Unbreaking. This has Unbreaking. This also has Unbreaking. Then we have some Protection 3 here to make Protection 4. Then I have some Protection 4 books. 1, 2, 3 of those. I have a Looting 3 book for the sword and a Feather Falling for the boots. So we've got the baseline. We've got the Mending, we've got the Unbreaking, we've got the Protection. The last few things that we need is Respiration for the helmet. We need Depth Strider for the boots. I've got Looting, Sharpness 4, and Fire Aspect for the sword. We're going to need an Unbreaking and Mending book. I have all of that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is start to enchant these things with like Mending. But what I really need to do is I need to grab my redstone bits. And probably some of these, and probably some of that. That is the fish stick. That is why that one is alone. As a matter of fact, this is the fish stick. That is forever going to be in a chest somewhere. I do need my logs. That should be good. And I think that's it, because I want to go over to the fish farm and set up an actual, like, sorting system, right? Doing what I did in the last episode works good, but if you AFK for long enough, obviously, you're going to build up stock. In more ways than one, we have built up stock. I've got a stock of some cooked beef, which is really good. I need glass. That's what I forgot over at the other area. I did do some cleaning. Like, I dumped all this stuff out. It can despawn. It's no big deal. I have most of this cleaned out. I have some water bottles here. I'm going to drink the water and save the bottles. But these are all of the stackable items that we have coming through this system at the moment. And some of this stuff I really don't need to keep. I don't think I need tripwire hooks. I don't think I need leather. Obviously, we're getting that from the farm. Other things like lily pads might not be something I really want to keep. Maybe it is. So, with that being said, I think I want to take this hopper and just run a hopper line that kind of goes back this way, and then set up some item filters like 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 5, probably 6, 8, 9, 10? Maybe 10. If I got enough room, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That will push me over into this area, this territory over here. So we may want to look at being careful in what we're doing. We've got to plan this better. I don't want to keep leather. We are getting a bunch of steak and leather. And then we're going to need some serious storage for the stackable items, such as bottles. We do get boots. We do get the occasional fishing rod and bow. Those are things that I'm not really that interested in. But the enchanted books I am. I went AFK overnight, and all of these chests were filled. I think this chest was almost full. There was just a few more slots in it. So rather than sifting through all of this and running back and forth to the island, I think we can make this to where we have some overflow protection. We only save a certain amount of items. Like, what's the point of saving, multiple double chests of all the things that are in here? We're not going to gain that much. You see, we gain a lot of raw fish and salmon. Maybe a double chest worth of this stuff, a double chest for the puffer fish. I think for the nautilus shell, the name tag, and like the bones, maybe we'll keep a double chest for, but everything else, like the lily pad and some of the other things that I mentioned, we're only going to keep a single chest worth. Things like sticks and bowls, I don't really think I'm going to keep. I think we're going to take that water bottle out. I think these 4 items we're going to get rid of, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, I think that can work. Lily pads are really not something we need, so maybe we'll do 8 chests and we'll just take the 50 that we have here. That'll be enough for now. I don't see us using them in the future. So I'm going to head back to the base. We are going to get some glass. We're going to grab our mending books because I believe all of my sand is back at the main island. Running back and forth to the base is going to be a little bit of a pain, but it's fine. So to do the sorting system that I want to do, I've had to kind of take to the drawing board because of how things have changed, right? Back in the day, you used to use a redstone repeater and a torch and a little bit of redstone, a comparator, and it was very, very simple to set up a sorting system. Instead of having this setup right here, it would be back a little bit and you would have a repeater here. And this was the traditional. You'd have 3 lines of redstone and then a repeater running into a regular old block with a torch on the front of it. The problem is that repeater causes issues with delay. And the repeater thing still works great on Java. It's an impulse SV overflow protection system. It just doesn't work on Bedrock. You need 3 pieces of redstone dust, a target block, and this. We used to use pistons with obsidian on the end of them because of how you have to redirect the redstone correctly. And once target blocks were fixed, this is the item sorter right here. And it works for both stackable items and non-stackable items. All you have to do is move the repeater, or rather the comparator, up by a block so that you're checking out the input line of your system. Whereas the comparator will sit down on your item filters here on stackable items. And this works for anything that stacks to 64 or 16. It's the same thing, it's the same filter. A comparator running into a block with a piece of glass, redstone dust, redstone dust, redstone dust, running into a target block with a torch on it. That will start sorting your items, and then of course in here, just like with the Impulse SV sorter, 41 items and then 4 items that will never ever be in the system, and you can sort out things. So what I did is I got myself a shulker box here and I put some random bits in it. I put some books, I put some water bottles, some saddles, all of the other things that we are sorting out, and I was able to sort everything out. The only issue that I saw is that every now and then you will get an item in here. One tropical fish made it over, so wherever my tropical fish is, right here, I have 21 instead of 22 like everything else. Keep in mind you will have 41 items in here. There will always be an item inside of this hopper. This repeater is locking this right here, which is locking this and locking this. Yep. That's exactly what it's doing. So locking both of these hoppers is how it's going to be. So you'll have 41 items in here, 1 item in here, and 22 inside of your chest if you put a stack into your item filter. This guy, the way that this works is as the items are traveling down here, if there's not a signal strength of 3 or better, the items are just going to go to the overflow chest. If I were to take out all of these different item filters, how can we do this? We can actually do this by just deleting this redstone line here. This will leave everything locked. So if I put this item sorter right here with 22 of all these various items in it, up in here, we can let this thing go ahead and start sifting the items, and you guys will see that as things come across, this will light up. Yep, there you go. You see it lit. It unpowered the torch. And what you're going to see is you're going to see items start falling into here. And I should see items going here. No, that's right. They will go into here until this is completely full. That's fine. That's fine. Again, with this filter, what you will notice is there will be an item inside of this hopper as well as an item inside of this hopper. These two will have a singulatory item in it. And if we didn't have this hopper here, let's just go ahead and break that out momentarily. What you will see is right now the torch is lit. If we put a non-stackable item in here, it's going to get sucked down into here because of the hopper. So let me grab this again so that this will stay in this thing here. And you can see that it's unpowering this torch, allowing things to be filtered down. That's how this works. If we were to put items in here that have a stack to 64 and a single item's going through, you'll see that only this redstone right here is lit and the torch is still lit. So nothing that is stackable will go in this filter. So if we put this all back together, because I've torn it completely apart, now I have 64 items in all of these different hoppers here, and we place this thing down because I'm going to need to do like that. I guess I didn't need this here. I will clean out my inventory of junk. We'll go ahead and pick this guy up. All of these items now have nowhere to go, so as they flow, they should flow in here. You will see that the comparator is on, but the torch is still locked. Because of the way that hoppers work, things are going. Now, we might have one singulatory issue where if we have single items inside of this slot and then a non-stackable item shows up in this slot, it may filter down in here. That is one issue, but I didn't see that it actually happened. Typically, the items want to push. Ah, there we go. It came into here. But typically, the items want to go here versus going down. So you put your non-stackable items at the end of the line, and all of your stuff that gets filtered out will go down in these chests. This is just for demonstration purposes and as well as showing you guys how all of the intricacies of item filters work. If you were to put this at the beginning of your farm, as you're going to see, you will have things that pop up over here, like the Depth Strider book, and that's because of how the item placement and how everything wants to, in priority, pull items out of this slot, then this slot, so on and so forth. So if you get a single item in this slot, like this red nether brick, if you had one in here, and then you got a non-stackable item in here, such as this shulker box or this pickaxe, it's going to try to pull this item down, and it's going to try to push this one to the side, depending on how your stuff is pointed. But without this book being in here, this was a successful test, because we have all 8 of the items, minus the book that didn't make it into here because of how things work. So as long as I set this up in Truly Bedrock, we'll be fine. One last thing that I forgot to mention is you do want a block of separation between your stackable and non-stackable item sorters. What you don't want is any of this redstone that would be across here messing with any of the redstone that is on your non-stackable item filter. You want this thing isolated. It is highly recommended that if you're going to have multiple non-stackable item sorters, to have blocks of separation between them. Just from what I've encountered through my years of playing, these get a little finicky when they're right next to each other. Technically, they are stackable, yes, but if you have anything like this, where there is already a redstone signal, you're kind of defeating the purpose, where this is going to tie into potentially this redstone or any of it. We just don't want it, right? If I had a piece of glass right here with a redstone dust on top of it, that is going to get a signal strength of 1, meaning something could come and break your system. So keep that in mind. I think with all of the items that we have on our person now, we can actually make the filters. I want to do 9. So we're going to do 8 stackable and 1 non-stackable sorter. And then utilizing the chest that I have, plus maybe some more, we can have a decent storage for the non-stackable items. The other things will be stored in probably a double chest, maybe a single, depending on the items. Everything else will then come over to, you know, my typical observer clock with a dropper, piston, a repeater, and all of those things to be destroyed. So we're going to head back over here. We're going to start tearing this down and hopefully get ourselves a little bit of a storage system so that we can go AFK longer, get all the books that we possibly need, and grab my boat out of storage. I was actually going to go over to the jungle, and I instead grew some jungle trees over here. So we'll grab our boat, we'll head back over there, we'll tear down what we have, and I may have to move the hopper or add another hopper in. I'm not 100% sure. There it is. And we can easily move our storage to where it's not coming back towards the farm, or maybe we have it lower than the platform that we use to check the lower chests. A little bit messy, but we do now have a system that comes down, and we have all of our filters set. We've got raw cod, raw salmon, we have pufferfish, we have tropical fish, we have nautilus shells, name tags, and then in these last two we have bone and string. And then finally we will have the non-stackable items that will come down into this area. Nice little setup for those. And then of course on the end we have the item destroyer. I know that we're going to lose some items in that. It's an inevitable part of this, but it's fine. I do need to make sure that I light this area up because, well, some of this is spawnable, some of this is a mushroom island. So, with that, now I can come over here and I can do my AFK fishing and not have to worry about anything. I am going to put all of my items that are valuable to me in this chest here because leather's not going to stack up, and even if it does, it's fine. I do need to check these out. Yeah, we've got some ink sacs, which is pretty cool. This is like a very slow ink farm. And now that it is evening once again for me, I can go AFK and start collecting myself a bunch of stuff. I'm looking for the books to finish up the enchanting. Once I get all of the enchanted armor and stuff that I want, I'm probably looking at tearing this thing down. Yep. We're just looking to get overpowered is all it is. Plus, I get to do some AFK for more cows. Perfect thing that we're setting up. So, I'm going to go AFK for a little while, and I will bring you guys back in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock my time. We're probably, hopefully if we stay on the server, we're going to go AFK till 5 a.m.-ish. See, what time did I say it was? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 8 hours worth of AFK fishing. If it doesn't actually work out to be 8 hours, that's perfectly fine. So we're about 7.5 hours away from the last clip. Not quite 8 hours, but we have almost our double chest worth of cod. We have that much raw salmon, that much in the way of puffer fish, that much in the way of tropical fish. Getting some nautilus shells, we're getting some name tags. We're not quite there with bones and string. These are actually quite rare, it seems, but this is the moment of truth. Look at that. Impaling Infinity. Impaling 5 is really good enchantment. Fire Protection, meh. Efficiency 3 is good. There's a Protection 4 Depthstrider book. Nice. Frostwalker, Impaling 5 again. Channeling and Respiration is good to have. There is my Respiration 3 book that I need. That's not a bad book. Another Protection 4, Looting 3, Respiration 3, Smite Unbreaking. We're doing really good. There's another Impaling 5 book. I need to keep those for potential farms later. Unbreaking, there's another Impaling Bane. There's a Mending book. There's a Sharpness 4 book. That's good. There's a Sharpness 4 book. There's my Sharpness 5. So I think honestly, we have all the books that we need to get ourselves fully enchanted. So we're going to have to go through this. We're going to have to grab, I'm probably going to grab all the books and take them over to the island. I think we got all the things that we need. I'm probably going to still do some fishing. I've got, 10 plus hours worth of work that I'm about to go do, so I might as well dump these chests and let this thing eat. Well, after quite a bit of fishing, we have a ton of books, right? I've got this whole chest, I've got this whole chest, I've got this whole chest, and I've got these few books here that I had put away. And looking through and sifting through some of my books, I found some decent ones like this Protection 4 Depthstrider book. I think I have an Amending Feather Falling book as well, but I think it's time. Hopefully enough levels to enchant some armor. And the first thing that we're going to do, of course, is start with the boots, right? And I like to take and check how many of these we've got. This is 11 levels. This one was 4. Feather Falling was 5. So we're going to put this on. We're going to put this on. And we're dwindling levels rather quickly. This is 17 levels. Oh my goodness. I think there's a way to do this to where we could have like soul speed on here as well. I'm not 100% sure, but 17 levels is a lot. Now with the pants, this is going to be a pretty easy one. I believe protection 4 cost more than the unbreaking, so we're going to go unbreaking protection. Done. 46 levels. Oh my goodness. We're going to hold off on the chest plate because the helmet is more important to me. So mending is always the cheapest. And then typically, this is unbreaking and aqua affinity. That's 6. This is 7. This is 4. And this is also 4. Because protection 4. So it's going to be cheaper to do that. This also cost 6, so we will do that, that, and that. Leaving me with 13 levels. So I will get my mending and unfortunately lose my anvil. It's fine. It's fine. We did mine a bunch of iron, which is good. That costs 5 levels, and that costs 4. Oh, we did it. We had the perfect amount. That is awesome. So, what I want to do now, of course, is upgrade all of this gear in its entirety. I am going to take off all of the iron gear, and it is time. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. So, we need to sleep. So now we are overpowered. I have all of the gear with all of the things on it. I didn't name any of it because I didn't think I had the levels. And unfortunately, I believe that if we were to actually take, like, the boots, it's going to cost us a lot to name them. And that's fine. I should have thought about that. It is totally fine. I'm actually going to... This is my original set of armor, the first ever made on this server, so I'm going to put it away. And what I think I need to do now, or want to do now, is I want to start digging through my books. I still have a looting 3. I have a mending book, which honestly, that can stay in there. I believe that I have, yep, a sharpness 4 and a sharpness 4 here. And we're going to go through this. We're going to look for... Let's see, sharpness, looting, fire aspect. Sharpness, looting, fire aspect, unbreaking, and mending is what we want on here. So, I should have some books somewhere. There's fire aspect 1. I'm going to dig through this and see if I can't find what I am looking for. And then we're going to have to do some more AFKing, most likely, to get ourselves some levels. I actually forgot that we haven't really thrown away any of the bows and stuff. I did clean some of this out, but I still have quite a bit of bows and fishing rods. Yeah, we threw some stuff away. Anyway, what we can do is we can take a bit of all of this stuff and we can disenchant it, right? We get levels from that, and we can make this happen. I think we can actually get ourselves a decent little, no. Curse of the Vanishing doesn't do it? Interesting. Oh, it leaves Curse of the Vanishing on there. I wonder if that's actually going to be useful. And we have 21 levels already, so let's go ahead and throw a little bit on here. Mending. Fire aspect. Oh, I don't want knockback. Oh. That's 8 levels. 13. I think what I'm going to have to do is go grab the Fire Aspect 1 and Fire Aspect 1 book that we have. It's no big deal. This is a nice way of doing. Like, we've got already 20 levels again. Perfect. Look at that. So yeah, let me get... yeah, let me go grab the Fire Aspect books. I'm going to combine some of these bows, because this could be helpful in the future. This is going to take a while. And the rest of this stuff, we're just going to trash. It's no big deal. That is a full bow there. I think if we do that... No, Curse of Vanishing stays. I'm learning. We're getting smarter, people. We're getting smarter. The whole knockback and punch thing on bows and on swords, respectively, is just a personal preference thing. 9 times out of 10, when I'm hunting for mobs and doing certain things that require my sword or my bow, yeah, I don't want the things. Because it's been more of a problem than not. Like last season, Tiz was in need. It's a beautiful thunderstorm right now, but Tiz was in need of some gas tiers. If you have a punch 2 bow, you know, you push them back, and sometimes they can despawn. It just becomes, like I said, more of a pain. So it's a personal preference thing for me. It has nothing to do with anything else. And we are going to be able to get... That is quite a bit of enchanting. Ooh, we might not... So nothing else to do with anything other than that. Yep. We're going to get the levels that we need to make this, and I don't want knockback and that stuff. So it's no big deal. All the bows. I did not know this. Again, we're learning. You can take and combine stuff in the grindstone. Did you know that? Because I surely did not. That is a pretty neat feature that I didn't know we had. I thought we had to do this in the crafting table. Interesting. We're learning. We're getting better every day. Those of you that just watched that last clip are probably looking up here at the top where it says repair and disenchant. Probably screaming in the mic right now about, yeah, duh, my friend. It's definitely a repair and disenchant where you can repair stuff here, but 28 levels to get this thing to Unbreaking 3, Sharpness 5, Fire Aspect 2, Looting, and Mending. We are going to name this thing because why not? That is why I got the levels. And this isn't the Witherbane though, right? Wither would have to have Smite on it. This is just going to be our generic sword that we use, so... I'll have to come up with a name. That's a good sword name. Peacekeeper? Essentially, that's what it's going to do. I'm going to clean up a bit of my act here and get some things going and run back over to the island one last time for today. Of course, we have to make it netherite, right? That's the whole thing. We're getting overpowered in our entirety. That's right. Now, last episode, we did a question of the day type thing. We're going to do it on today's episode. And my question for you guys is, what kind of enchantment would you like to see that is similar to Fire Aspect? In the game, we were just inside of a thunderstorm, so there's lightning, there's fire. We have lightning rods. We have powdered snow, which causes freezing. I think we ought to get some more enchantments like frost or electricity, You know, some more of maybe the elements like fire. I think that would be a cool thing. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think about that. But my intentions today were not to just spend all this time getting geared up, but it did work out for us, and now we have ourselves some really good gear. We have Depth Strider, which is probably the best thing that we could get this early on. The only other thing that I want is the Swift Sneak, because this is slow, and I miss it. I miss it from last season. But having a fully enchanted set of armor this early in the game, we can really start diving into the things that we need to do. There are people asking for things on the server for getting the Nether Hub going. There are other requests being made. I do want to help out as much as possible, and I want to get started on the island. We haven't done anything. We have done a couple of farms in the background there, and I think it would behoove us to go ahead and get maybe one more farm back on that island all the way over there. Start the terraforming process, on this island as well. Getting rid of all the mushrooms and the mushroom cows and things like that, I definitely want to get going. So, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It was a lot of just running around. We did some redstone. A lot of fun things, I think. If you enjoyed the episode, please let me know by leaving a like, leaving a comment. Of course, comment on the question that we asked. What enchantment would you like to see that dealt passive damage like Fire Aspect? And maybe Fire Aspect could be expanded other than just cooking, animals and stuff when you unalive them. It would also be cool to see something like that on a pickaxe so that we could auto-smelt when mining. That's a modded feature. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to check the description down below for all the different ways to follow me. Links to Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Truly Bedrock Discord, Truly Bedrock website. There's also a link to all the Truly Bedrock members' YouTube channels in the description down below. Be sure to check them out if you're not already. There are also links to the second channel where we put up our live streams. We haven't done one from Season 5 yet, but we will hopefully soon. At the time of the recording, anyway. There's a link to the third channel, the Pokemon challenges. If that's something you're interested in, we do those from time to time. It's been a while since we put one up. I've been focused on Truly Bedrock because I love this more than anything else that we do. This server's awesome. The people are awesome. You guys are awesome. And there is also a link to Patreon down below if you feel like supporting the channel in more ways than just watching videos and interacting. You can do that too. Not required, but greatly appreciated nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.